everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be making a bias cut silk skirt. Spring is right around the corner, and with it the season of wearing beautiful flowy skirts and dresses. So to start off my spring wardrobe, I thought I would create a maxi skirt. Maxi skirts are very on trend for this spring-summer season, so I thought I would combine the trendy element of the maxi length with something that is very classic and timeless, like a silk skirt. I will be adding a very small detail to my design. So this is what you'll need to make this skirt. You'll need 1.5 to 2 meters of any silky type fabric, wide elastic for the waistband, or if you prefer, an invisible zipper, some fabric scissors, a measuring tape. If you would like to add the same detail as my design, you will need about 4 to 5 meters of any lace trim. The overall idea I have for my design is to make the front and back panels of the skirt into 3 separate panels, and the panels are then combined with the lace trim in between. I think the lace trim will add just an extra feminine detail. So let's hope I can execute the idea I have in my head. So let's get into cutting the fabric. To start any bias cut garment, first we need to position the fabric at an angle and cut our pattern pieces diagonally from the grain line. This will give our skirt a little more stretch, and the fabric will drape a lot better on the body as opposed to cutting it with the grain line. So here's what the front of the skirt is looking like so far. We have our 3 different front panels, and then in the middle is where we're gonna add this cute little lace trim from the top all the way to the bottom. Thankfully it matches the fabric pretty well, because when it's bunched up all together, it does look a bit more yellow. But when it's just standing on its own next to this satin fabric, it does look like the same color. So now I need to repeat the same steps for the back pieces and cut them out, and then we'll be attaching the skirt together. So all of our pattern pieces are now overlocked on the edges. So my next step is to add the lace trim on each side of the panels. So I'm simply going to fold the overlocked edge so that the scalloped edge of the lace can lay on top. And that way, when I top stitch the lace onto the panels, the stitching will be hidden in between the scalloping, and we won't be able to see the overlocked edges as well. They will be hidden on the inside of the skirt. I feel like this is gonna be the longest part of the skirt. So I made myself a cup of coffee, and while I'm having my coffee break, I'm just gonna slowly pin all of the lace together onto the skirt. I've just very loosely pinned it together to see what it would look like, and I do need to center the front with the back. For some reason it is a bit uneven, and regardless I do need to take about ½ an inch on either side, I believe, just so that it fits properly. So after I sew the sides together, it's time to add the elastic waist. sew the waistband, set your machine to a zigzag stitch with a tighter stitch. Lay the elastic ends side by side and sew the ends together by front and back stitching a few times until the elastic is secured, avoiding overlapping the edges so that the elastic band doesn't add any additional bulk to the skirt. And then once you're done, it will look something like this. Next, section the elastic in half and then in quarters to add it onto the waistband of the skirt. Pin the elastic on the good sides of the skirt, as we will then be folding the elastic towards the inside of the skirt to create an invisible waistband. Then stitch the elastic in place with a zigzag stitch while also stretching the elastic slightly as you sew it together. Just finished attaching the elastic onto the waist, and I tried it on very quickly and it fits perfectly. There are some parts that have a little bit of ruching. I'm debating whether I should top stitch the elastic in place, but then we would see the stitching on the outside and I'm not sure if I want that to be visible. I did read somewhere online that when you make bias silk skirts such as these, you should hang them on a mannequin before you hem them. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that and think about the top stitching meanwhile. So tomorrow we can hem the skirt and add the top stitching if we decide to. So it's the next morning, and before I go and hem the skirt, I reattached the elastic onto the waistband. I realized yesterday that I had a bunch of ruching, and that was because the elastic was too short for the circumference of the waist. So I just reattached the elastic onto the skirt like this, and then once we fold the elastic inwards like this, we have a very seamless and clean look to the top of the waist. I hope you enjoyed sewing this silk skirt with me. If you do end up making one for yourself, I would love to see it. So tag me on Instagram at Modern Prairie when you post your photo. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, don't forget to click the like button below and subscribe to this channel for more sewing videos like this one. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.